As organizations have automated broad processes, the one thing that it's allowed for is it's really allowed for the company to evaluate the controls as an inline process instead of looking at the scraps of paper that build up the control activity that was in place before. So it really streamlines the overall process. The ability to have a human error gets greatly diminished. And I think as more and more data is in place, the other thing that it allows for is it helps us to eliminate the sampling and the sampling error that we get. So instead of looking at a sample of 30 or 60 or 90 or greater, we can just take the whole population. And we can apply the business rules that go along with the control activity that we have in place and make a determination as to whether or not there's anything that falls outside of those business rules. So evaluating an exception becomes a much easier task in that we can look at the whole population, we can look at the set of business rules that are in place, make sure that they meet the assertions that we're trying to achieve. And if all of those things are in place, the testing is complete and done, and we have a greater level of assurance that there were no exceptions because we're not sampling. So we didn't miss something. We looked at everything and found nothing is a much stronger statement than saying we sampled 30 and found nothing.
When we start thinking about designing an ERP system, it is so much more fruitful to think about controls on the front end versus thinking about what do I need to do after the fact. One of the things that we continuously talk about is continuous control monitoring. And as we talk about those things, we think if we have the foresight to really have conversations about controls on the front end, are we better served to be able to do these things that, while I think we've had good intentions over the last 15 years, have never truly materialized?